Hello everyone and welcome back to the Simple Joy Show. Today we're going to be exploring a really powerful tool for personal growth and intentionality, and that's the annual review. So this episode is going to be all about reflecting on the past year and setting the stage for the year ahead. So whether you're a seasoned planner or you're quite new to this concept, this episode will be for you. The audio from this episode is actually taken from a live video that I did in my Facebook group, The Simple Living Society, so feel free to come in and join that. But given the time of year, I thought it was a great episode to have on the podcast as well, so I am resharing it to you guys. I'm then going to end the episode with a unique poem read by myself and my daughter. This was a poem that we shared with my friend Caroline at the Make It Joy podcast. I'll pop the link to her podcast in the show notes. She had a special Poetry Slam Christmas edition of her podcast, and myself and my daughter recorded this and sent this over to her. So I thought it would be nice to share to you guys as well. So I'm going to round out the episode with that today. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the episode and have an amazing Christmas. See you in the new year. This is the Simple Joy Show, the podcast for people who are ready to declutter and simplify their homes and lives to create more space, time, energy and freedom. I am your host, Hayley Forster, mother, wife and declutter coach, and I'm going to be sharing with you simple bite-sized nuggets to help you on your journey to living a simpler life through the power of decluttering. So if you're ready to choose calm over chaos, then let's dive into today's show. Today I wanted to flip chat less about Christmas and more about New Year and talk about annual reviews. Now I always like to, when I come up to the end of the year, like to do a bit of an annual review, look back at the year, not just from a like work standpoint, but also a personal standpoint as well. And it's more than just a reflection of the past year, I suppose, but it's a really deliberate act of looking back and doing a bit of a self-evaluation, I think, and a little bit of forward planning as well, because I don't feel as though I can ever do some forward planning or some intention setting if I haven't looked backwards to see what worked, what didn't work, what I liked, what I didn't like. And it's just about really acknowledging both your successes and your setbacks, because we all have them. Life isn't smooth sailing, we all have setbacks. But so it's important to include those, but just take the insights from them and use what we've learned over the year to try and shape the vision for what you want to do in the future. And that's basically the essence of intentional living at the end of the day. You may have done annual reviews in a work setting. I certainly did. We would use an annual review as kind of like an end of year thing, where we would present to our management what we'd been up to, what we'd achieved, and then ultimately that would go towards promotions, pay rises, things like that. But you may not have necessarily done them in a personal context. I've done them for a few years now. I really like doing them, and it's just really nice to kind of look back on the year and see what I've been up to as well, and just what me and the family have been up to. And I like looking through all my old photos to prompt. It's a good thing about having kind of cloud-based photo backups, is I just scroll back and I have a look, what was I doing this time last year, and having all those reminders popping up, which is nice. But there's a lot of psychological benefits to it as well, and it really contributes towards your personal growth. So I just want to touch on why doing an annual review is really good. And I've got a little freebie for you all. I'll pop the link in the comments. So I'll add that in once I've finished for you to download my annual review workbook. I'll just show you on my iPad if it's got, I don't know if it's got charge actually. Oh, it has. So I've been working on mine. Um, so I've been making notes already, but basically it's, I'll show you. So it'll look like this. And I always like to do it digitally. You can print it out if you want, but I like digitally and I use my iPad pen. But it's got sections for you to fill out. Um, your achievements. So it's looking back, first of all, what your achievements, perhaps what didn't work as well, your challenges. And then it's got kind of different areas of your life, what your thoughts were about those. And then really saying goodbye to 2023 and like what were your favorite moments and like maybe do some words and what you were grateful for, etc., things like that. And then we'll flip the switch and we'll move it to 2024. What do you want out of your life for these different areas? And what perhaps are you going to focus your intentions on next year and how you're going to do that? And then some 2024 intentions, creating a word of the year and a little statement of the year as well. So it's a nice little workbook for you to do some reflection and look forward. But I'll add the link into that for that in the comments. But I just want to touch on why it's important to do it and um, really why you should take some time out over the next few weeks to just reflect and look forward as well. I usually, like, I've started it now. I usually do the reflection before Christmas. Um, and then I usually do the looking forward in the bit between Christmas and New Year. That's just my personal preference, really, because there's just that much going on. I usually don't have the time to do it all before Christmas. Um, and last year, I know I was so busy that actually I even done some of it in January. There's no real hurry, just as long as you have some time over the next 4 6 weeks to just have a little bit of a think, a little bit of a an introspection about what has happened and how you want things to move forward. But the things that you can get out of it is enhanced self-awareness. So it really, doing an annual review really compels you to reflect on your past actions, your decisions, your experiences, and that process of reflection is really good for self-awareness. And I think self-awareness is such a crucial skill to have, because by understanding your past behaviors, your choices, you're really looking at your strengths, your weaknesses, and perhaps what patterns you fall into as well. We all fall into patterns. So that really is being able to look back and notice them is the first step towards knowing how you want things to be different. It's really good for goal setting as well and clarity on the goal setting, the goals that you want to set as well. And it just goes beyond just, oh, I would like to do this or I'd like to do that maybe. What it does, it involves you really identifying specific goals that you want to go after. And I'm sure you've heard of the SMART goals, which is specific, measurable, actionable, realistic and time bound, I think it is, or is it relevant and time bound? I never remember that R. But SMART goals to really help you take action on those goals, because if you set clear goals and if you're really intentional about them, actually you can really focus your efforts much more effectively, and you're going to have much more of a purpose and a direction towards those goals, and you're more likely to achieve them. So having the clarity of what it is you actually want. So by going through that process of those sheets that I just showed you, you know what you enjoyed from the past year. You know perhaps what didn't work well and what you want to focus on. So you can pull out your goals from those and then get really specific about them as well. It also gives you really increased motivation and also some accountability as well, because you might even in your reflection look back if you had any previous goals from last year. You might have set some resolutions for yourself, and you might reflect back on them, and that can really boost your motivation, because you might realize, oh, actually I've done this and that's fantastic, I'm going to keep it up. Or, which I think is probably a high percentage if we're looking at the stats, that we'll go, oh crap, well I give up on that, like 4 weeks into the year. Maybe I should go back to it. Um, so just recognizing the progress, or maybe not so much of the progress that you've made towards those original goals, can be quite motivating to get you either going again or to continue. Um, and also just setting new goals. So by seeing what you've done and what's worked well, you might see new areas of improvement that you can do, and that can really create a sense of accountability as well, because you're looking back on it, you know you're going to look at it in the future, and it's a real positive motivator for you to keep on trying and keep on moving forward with them. Another benefit is that it can help you cope with setbacks. So, there's a section on this in the workbook. If you reflect on the challenges that you've had during the past year, um, which is a really important part of the annual review process for me, it's no point in just looking at the good stuff. You've got to look at the bad stuff as well. But what it does, it really helps you develop resilience and helps you learn from your mistakes as well. um, Understanding the setbacks, what went wrong, it's all part of the growth process. And I think also it can help you then foster an attitude of positivity towards those failures, looking at it as an opportunity for you to learn and to develop. And hopefully, when you're in those moments in the following year, that you can remind yourself and reaffirm, like, right, okay, this is a challenge, but I'm going to learn something from it. There's always going to be things that really test you in that aspect, but you need to try and remember that something positive will come out of it. Another positive benefit is enhanced decision making skills. So this is really comes from being intentional, because by reflecting on your past decisions, your past actions, both good and bad, you can really identify the patterns you make in your decision process. So you know what was good, you know what was bad, and you can try to see what led to those moments. And that then allows you to better future decisions and aligning things more closely to your values. So if you know what your values are, you know what things worked well and what didn't, you know then what decisions you need to make to try and make sure that you continue living to your values and towards those goals as well. And it really gives you that mental clarity. It can be quite therapeutic doing an annual review. I really enjoy it. I like looking back on things, and lots of lovely memories come back, and maybe some not so nice memories as well. But as I say, focus on the positives that come out of it. But what it does, it provides a really structured way for you to organize your thoughts, your priorities, and that can really reduce the anxiety that you might be feeling at this time of year. I know a lot of people feel anxious trying to get everything sorted, but actually taking time out and just doing a little bit of review is really nice. It gives you a lot of mental clarity, and that just makes you feel good. And not only does it make you feel good, it makes you feel empowered and confident as well. Actually, looking at your annual reviews and seeing what you've been able to achieve, that's going to really boost your self confidence. It will empower you as a person to keep following your intentions and believe in your abilities, believe in your potential, and just say, right, this is where I was last year. Look at how much I've managed to achieve this year. And it just really encourages you to perhaps take new challenges, do things slightly differently, and step out your comfort zone and really try new things, which is exciting. That's what life's about, isn't it? It's about experiencing new things. And I would say as well, it just gives you long-term vision and purpose. And I think it was, I don't know where I've heard this, but I've heard it so much. But there's been a study done, and I can't remember the name of the study, but it was looking at people who have lived longest in the world, and it was understanding about what was it with them that made them live so long. Like, what was it? And it all came back down to purpose, that they felt that they had a purpose. And I know it's a big word and people get scared by it, but it isn't necessarily meaning this all-encompassing purpose that you need to achieve this dream and it's like this massive mountain you need to climb. It literally can be day-to-day actions of you just following your intentions, about aligning to your values, knowing that you're One of your values is honesty, so you live to that every day. That for me is a purpose, is that you make intentional choices to be an honest person. Or it might be that you one of your values is empowerment, and you want to live every single day to feel empowered and strong, and presenting that to your children, for example. So it's not necessarily this big massive goal that you need to impact millions of lives and all that, and it doesn't need to be that strong. It just needs to be that you've got a longer term vision of how you want to live your life, and it can be very focused on you, what you want, very insular. It could include your family, but it's just about knowing what that vision is, assessing it, adjusting it if you feel you need to. Just because your values were here 5 years ago doesn't mean that they might have moved along a bit, so just make sure that you've got your values up to date, and just ensure that your daily actions align with those broader goals. And that really is what gives you your sense of purpose and your sense of fulfillment. It doesn't need to be this massive thing that you feel daunted by. Um, but there's so many psychological benefits to annual reviews. I would really, really encourage you to do it. And it gives you so much, being able to reflect. I hope you can't hear my tummy. I think I'm hungry. It's lunchtime and I'm starving. But it's rumbling away, yeah. But by reflecting and doing this exercise, it can really help you just navigate things a little bit. It can help you live with more intention, which is what I'm all about. And I've got my annual review workbook. I'll pop the link in the comments. You can just pop your email address in there and it'll get sent to you. And you can sit down, either do it digitally or print it out if you want, and grab a cuppa and just go through it. Um, and I really try to emphasize in the workbook that it's very much focused on intentional, but living intentionally, sorry, rather than being very passive about things. I spent my years pre-kids probably being very passive, and life just passed me by, and I just wasn't necessarily, I was just going along with what everything pushed me into. I ended up going in a corporate because that's what I thought I should do, and I wasn't sitting and asking myself, what actually do I want? Um, so it's just nice to sit down, take some time for you, identify what you really want to do in life, understand those reasonings behind them, and just set yourself a really intentional, heartfelt plan and move forward with that. So I hope you access the workbook, and just if this is your first venture into intentional living, it's a good place to start. Just keep your workbook as a reference. Remind yourself of your commitment that you're making. Go through it and use that as a motivator. Clear your calendar, sit down, do it, and revisit your plans in the future as well. Just look back at them. Maybe set a little reminder in your calendar, like once a month. Just review your actions, see where you're at, and just embrace each new day with intention. And just remember what you set your goals as. And when you're doing the workbook. So let me just check if there's any questions. No, there's no questions. So let me know if you've got any questions when I've come offline, and I'll come back and answer them. I'll pop the link in when I end this live video, and you can get started on doing your little workbook. So have a lovely break, festive break, for those if you have got some time off. Enjoy being with your families. Enjoy whatever Christmas is for you. For me, it's all about being with my family and playing games, watching films, eating lots of food, all of that stuff. So whatever you may be doing over the festive period, I hope you really thoroughly enjoy it. And whatever you do, just take time out to relax, take a breather, and try and find some time to spend doing your little workbook perhaps. But have a lovely festive period, and I will see you in January. Take care. Bye bye. 'Twas the season of Christmas, all hustle and bustle. The Smiths were in panic in the holiday tussle. Lights tangled like spaghetti, a sight quite distressing. Gifts piled like mountains, oh, what a messing.
Ding dong, hear the cash registers ring. A chaotic Christmas, isn't it quite the thing?
Mum in the kitchen, a flower-coated scene, Dad on the roof where he shouldn't have been, kids wrapping gifts, tape stuck in their hair, the cat in the tree just hanging in there.
Ding dong, let the chaos bells chime. A frantic Christmas, isn't it just sublime?
Then little Timmy, with a giggle so sly, said why not try something different, or why? Why not sit back, relax and just chill, enjoy a simple Christmas, oh what a thrill.
Ding dong, let's take a different view. A peaceful Christmas, fresh and new.
So they dropped all the fuss, the rush and the race, embraced simple joys with a calm, steady pace. They sang carols softly, sipped cocoa by the fire, shared stories and laughs which never tire.
Ding dong, hear the heart's gentle ring. A simple Christmas, isn't it quite the thing?
In that moment the Smiths found a truth so profound. In simplicity and love true holiday spirit is found. Not in the glitter, the gifts or the feast, but in the shared moments with stress the least.
Ding dong, let the true bells ring. A simple Christmas, the best kind of thing.
Thank you so much for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the Simple Joy Show further, then please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from me, you can follow me on Instagram at HelloSimpleJoy. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.